Thank you for joining us again and welcome back to another exciting and informative video on our YouTube channel. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to thank you for watching. In this episode, we shall be going back into Gabon. If you think things have settled in Gabon, then you are mistaken. The opposition leader has lambasted the coup plotters, calling the coup a family affair. Gabon opposition leader Lambast coup claimed election victory. The main opposition candidate said the military takeover was a palace revolution, not a coup d'etat staged to prevent him from becoming Gabon's leader. Moving forward, Albert Ondo Osa, Gabon's main opposition candidate in August 26 presidential election, has claimed victory in the election while dismissing Wednesday's coup in an oil-rich Central African country as a disappointment and a family affair. Moving ahead, earlier on Wednesday, minutes after the Electoral Authority announced that President Ali Bongo, who had been in power since after his father's death since 2009, had won a third term, coup plotters had struck. "I consider myself to be the candidate who won the presidential election," Osa said in an exclusive interview with the Qatar-based television station Aljazeera on Thursday, adding that the election outcome and military takeover were two coups in one. He did not give any more details about his claim, but said the Gabonese had voted massively for him and he will use constitutional means to contest the election outcome. Osa, an economic professor, had been presented by 6 opposition parties under the Alliance Alternance 2023, garnered 30% of the votes, while the incumbent got 64%. A dozen soldiers who introduced themselves as members of the Committee of Transition and the Restoration of Institution had announced on national television that they were annulling the elections and dissolving all institutions of the state. The post said they acted partly because of irresponsible and unpredictable governance and because preparations for the elections did not meet the conditions for a transparent, credible and also inclusive ballot so much hoped for by the people of Gabon. Moving ahead, the ousted president later confirmed via a viral video believed to be recorded in the presidential palace that he had been detained by the coup leaders, most of whom seemed to be from the Republican Guard, mandated to secure the president. Brice Nguema, leader of that unit and a cousin of Bongo, was also named transitional leader as of Wednesday. "I had imagined this coup d'etat. It was likely," in quote, Osa told Al Jazeera Qatar-based TV, following political activities in the country. "I see how the institutions work. I see how the presidential guard works. And I saw the rise of Brice Oligui Nguema and I knew something was up." Based on his own comments, both men are not strangers to each other. The opposition candidate served as educational minister under the tenure of Bongo's father Omar when Nguema was a captain within the Republican Guard. As of Friday this week, Nguema vowed the country's institution will be more democratic. The dissolution of the institution, decreed on Wednesday during the coup, is temporary, he said based on his speech. "It is a question of reorganizing them in order to make them more democratic." Based on the claim that the coup in Gabon is a palace coup, not the coup d'etat. In the coup announcement, the soldiers said Gabon was finally on the road to happiness. Hundreds of citizens took to the streets of Libreville, the capital, to celebrate with the soldiers, with some hugging them. Evidence of gratitude for what they saw as freedom from the Bongo dynasty, which they have been in power for since 1967. There were similar scenes of joy in Port-Gentil, the Central African country's second largest city, but Osa criticized the coup, saying it was a disappointment. "You think you are serving your country, but then you realize you are back to square one. It's embarrassing," he told the Qatar-based television station Al Jazeera. The politician had told French channel TV5 The Monde that the coup had been orchestrated by the Pascaline Bongo, sister of the deposed president. He declined to give any more details about how alleged involvement to Al Jazeera, instead preferring to focus on the new leader who he called a little Bongo. Moving forward, according to the 2020 investigation by the Organized Crime and Corrupt Reporting Projects, the OCCCRP, on the Bongo's family asset in the United States, Nguema invested real estate paying into cash. He bought 3 properties in middle and working class neighborhoods in the Maryland suburbans and Hyattsville and Silver Spring, just outside the capital. In 2015 and also 2018, the homes were purchased with lots of over $1 million cash, according to that particular report by the OCCRP report. He is a cousin of Bongo, so how can I think he's different? It is a palace revolution. We are still in Bongo's power. He grew up in the palace. This young man, I knew him as a relative of Bongo, as all Gabonese know, Osa said, while declining to comment on the specifics of the report. As we conclude this episode, the opposition leader went ahead saying, basically, I think the Bongo family got rid of one of themselves who was weighing on the family, and they wanted Bongo power to continue, while at the same time preventing Albert Ondo Osa from coming to power. He added, it was a palace revolution, not a coup d'etat. This is a family affair where one brother replaced another. The opposition figure said the celebration amongst the population was an initial reaction and that will soon be replaced by a realization that the Bongo family is still in power and also it is a proxy. Osa said he was committed to seeing his mandate return but will not call for citizens to take to the streets and also to demonstrate like what happened in Kenya and in Zimbabwe after recent election. Instead, he promised to prioritize internal and external diplomatic channels in ensuring that the Republican order remain intact. Let's listen to the television station that has to say, and we will join you on the other side.
People in Gabon celebrating the coup which ousted President Ali Bongo, bringing an end to almost 60 years of rule by his family. But in an interview with French media outlet TV5 Monde on Thursday, opposition leader Albert Ondo Osa claimed things had not changed that much.
Alors, il faut situer les choses dans leur contexte. D'abord, c'est pas un coup d'État.
So let's put things in context. First of all, it's not a coup d'etat, it's a palace revolution. Oligui Nguema is Ali Bongo's cousin. The campaign was 60 years of Bongo is too much. The Bongos have decided to put Ali Bongo aside and continue their system by putting in place a Bongo CEO system, and they've put forward Oligui Nguema. In this way, the Bongo system continues.
Donc c'est toujours le système Bongo.
His comments came days after the military seized power, putting Bongo under house arrest and accusing him of irresponsible governance that risked leading the oil-rich country into chaos. Behind Oligui Nguema, there's no need to look far. It's Pascaline Bongo, Ali Bongo's sister. That's all. She stands behind Oligui Nguema, and the Bongo clan continues being in power. Following the coup on Wednesday, soldiers did put Bongo's cousin, head of the elite Republican Guard, in charge. He's due to be sworn in as transitional president before the Constitutional Court on Monday. It's a palace revolution, so there's no military coup. The proof is that it was the Praetorian Guard that carried out the palace revolution. The other soldiers weren't involved. Osa lost the presidential election to Bongo by more than 30 percentage points, following an electoral process that was widely seen as lacking in transparency. I'm asking for the real results, which are known to all diplomatic missions. The results are known to everyone. Let the real results be given. That's where I'm at. The opposition had previously thanked the army for having stood up against what it described as an electoral coup and urged the military to complete counting the ballots.
If you consider what happened in Mali, Burkina Faso and also in Guinea, Niger has not settled down, and also now Gabon, it shows you a trend with regards to what's happening in Gabon. Ali Bongo, no matter what happens, is not going to be coming back to power. Gabon is going to be moving forward, and France, the former colonial master, has been placed in a situation where the Élysée Palace is beginning to think what is actually happening within the region. Things are changing so fast. Africa is evolving with regards to the Francophone states. They are beginning to realize that the system is not working anymore and the citizens had no particular involvement with regards to the running of the country. That is a system that the French state implemented by manipulating one person who can make the decision. We've seen that in Mali, we saw that in Guinea, we saw that also in Burkina Faso, as most of those leaders, specifically in Niger, were puppets with regards to their operation and interactions with France. If you consider comments by other African head of states who actually clearly indicated that by you traveling to Europe or to France in particular and being praised in those European capitals and then back home your people do not have water, food to eat, then these are some of the results. Hopefully Gabon can put its house together and get back to work and for the Gabonese people's benefits, and also looking to come back to transition and how the new leader can smoothly transition back and give power to civilian government. We want to thank you for watching. Keep the conversation going. Let us know what you think with regards to the claim by the opposition leader in Gabon that this was a palace coup, not a coup of the people. We all shall be looking on how Gabon navigate this particular condition and come back and emerge again like one of those countries that was known in Africa to be peaceful. All is not done yet in Gabon. We shall be looking on what happens and how the country navigates from this challenging time in the Gabonese state. I want to thank you for watching. If you are new to this channel, we encourage you to check some of our informative videos. We are looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.